Okay, this video is are travel trailers reliable? I bought my first travel trailer back in 1976, and I bought a few since then. And so we're talking about 45 years I've been buying travel trailers. Now I know there are people, especially people living in the vans, that put them down, say they're not reliable, and these same people have never owned one. It just might see somebody with a travel trailer might have an issue or something like that, and all of a sudden they make a quick judgment and say, they're not reliable. Well, it's hogwash. I'm going to go into all the systems that a travel trailer has, and many of these you will not get in a van even after you've converted it. You're not going to have all of these different systems in place, which a travel trailer is going to have. But I'm going to go into how many years I've typically found these different items that are in a travel trailer will last. I'm going to go through a long list here, so I'm going to go quick. Start with the A-frame. It's made out of steel. You can get 25 plus years before you actually have to sand it down and repaint it. 25 years. The wiring inside is all hidden, so you're going to get a lifetime out of wiring. I've never seen any issues with wiring in a travel trailer, so lifetime there. The inverter converter, I had a problem with mine after 15 years, and I think it was because I hooked up to a shore hookup in an RV park, and they had too much voltage going to it. So the inverter continued working, and I disconnected the converter, which was basically more of a battery charger, and I just put in a regular car battery charger to charge up my batteries. So that's an iffy thing because it's solid state electronics. The fuse block, you're never going to have a problem there. If you're blowing any fuses, you got some other issues going on there. But I've never had any blown fuses, but you could overload a circuit, I guess. Okay, the rooftop air conditioner, I'm going to say 15 years plus. Mine's 16 years old, and it still runs fine. I would compare it to standard air conditioners in your home. It's going to last a long time. Tires, you always should really replace them every 5 years, but you're going to do that on any type of vehicle you have, even if you have a van. The travel trailers, they're really cheap. The tires on mine were only $45 each. So I got 5 tires, 1 spare and 4 regular tires for around $250. So very inexpensive when you have to do a tire replacement. And they do have date codes on them, so you can determine how old your tire is. If you buy a used RV or travel trailer, there is a date code on there. You can determine how old they are. The furnace, which runs off a thermostat, I'm going to say 15 plus years. Again, mine's 16 years old. It's original, still runs fine. The water pump, same thing, 15 plus years. I still have the original water pump. The water heater, same thing. I'm going to say 15 plus years. I'm running the original 16-year-old. I've never had to do any work on these, no repair work. I see guys saying they tune up furnaces and stuff, like, in your homes, you always want to tune up your furnace once a year. I think that's a big con. I've never had to tune up my furnace, and it's 16 years old. It's just a way for people to make money. The radio, CD player, and speaker system, I'm going to say 25 plus years. There's really nothing that really goes on those. Lighting, the only thing you're going to have to replace maybe once in a blue moon is the bulbs or your LEDs, depending on what you got in your lighting. And I can't really say, but mine are been running for 3 years since I bought this RV, and I haven't had to replace any of them. Okay, water heater, I'm going to say 15 plus years. Because mine still runs great. My refrigerator, I'm going to say 15 plus years. I mean, you're going to, think of your household refrigerator. Some of them only last 5 years before you have issues. But the travel trailers, most of them are using one brand called the Dometic. And those are used even in $500,000 motorhomes. They're excellent refrigerators. So even if you buy an inexpensive travel trailer, you're probably going to get the top of the line refrigerator. Okay, so I'm going to say 15 plus years. Mine's 16 years old, runs great. Okay, now some other things you're going to have to replace other than your tires every 5 years, and you're going to have to do that on any type of recreational vehicle you buy. Okay, the roof, you want to check for cracked caulking. I would say a minimum of 4 times a year, and if you can, go up there once a month. Because the UV, ultraviolet, really does affect the top of travel trailers and all your RV type vehicles. So you really want to be checking that out. But, when you see some cracked caulking or some caulking peeling off, it's $5, tube of caulking, Dicor, whatever you're using. Good silicone caulking, whatever, you're talking about a $5 fix. So at this point, we're not talking about any money, really. If you're dealing with the trailer that's less than 15 years old, 20 years old, typically. I mean, I guess somebody could have a lemon or is doing something that they shouldn't be doing. It causes some damage to some of these things I mentioned already, but otherwise, you should be talking 15 to 20 years on most things in a travel trailer. Okay, now the roof vents, same thing. They're affected by UV. You're only going to get maybe 10 to 15 years on your roof vents. And also the vent cover for your refrigerator. They didn't use, at least on mine, they didn't, and most of what I see that's for sale in the RV supply places where you buy parts and stuff, that type of plastic is not UV protected plastic. So it will break down, it will crack, and even chip and break. But the good news is, and like I said, you get maybe 10 to 15 years on those. I replaced both of my roof vents and they were $25 each. So again, no biggie, very simple repair. Anybody can do it. Cheap repair, what have you. Okay, the AC cover on the roof, they used a good plastic, and mine's 16 years old, and it's not showing any deterioration. So that I never had to replace. Your 12-volt batteries, every 3 to 5 years if you're using the cheap Walmart marine-grade deep cycles. The other types of deep cycle batteries, you could be getting 10 years or better, but you're dealing with a lot of money. But the Walmart marine deep cycle is only 100 amp hour. It's only $100. So you can play it cheap, get 3 to 5 years, or go real expensive. Now lithium ion, I'm thinking you should be able to get 20 to 25 years out of a lithium iron, I should say. But you're talking $900 to $1,000 a piece. Okay. One last thing. Get RV insurance on added to your car insurance policy or your truck insurance or whatever. Call up your insurance agent and add on your RV insurance. It's only about $50 a year. And excuse me, I was driving around Albuquerque on the highway. It's like turns into a 6-lane highway, and the city drivers are nuts. And one lady said she got cut off, and instead of hitting her brakes and staying in her lane, she swerved into me and hit the front end of my trailer and caused $4,800 in damages. And luckily, I had the RV insurance, which, like I say, is dirt cheap. It's like I think I was paying $50 a year. So anyway, the insurance company paid me $4,800 to cover the repair work. And I basically just pocketed the money and repaired it myself. I just put plywood over that section that was torn out and painted it and caulked it, and I paid less than $100 just doing it myself. It doesn't look great, it doesn't look new anymore, and it will affect the resale value, but it basically paid for my trailer. I only paid $4,500 for this trailer, and I got $4,800 on the insurance now. And like I said, I put maybe $100 of that $4,800 into doing a good repair. I mean, it doesn't leak or anything. I cut out the plywood sheets and painted it and caulked it, and that was good enough for me. I didn't want it to look brand new again and blow all that money. So get your RV insurance. So bottom line is, I hear people hyping up living in a van and pooping in a bucket and all that stuff, and doing these expensive van bills where you don't have any of the conveniences of home, even after you spent thousands of dollars, or very few of them, compared to a travel trailer. And then they go ahead and they start bad-mouthing people with travel trailers, saying they're not dependable, not reliable, and it's just hogwash. Like I say, 45 years I've been in and out of RVs, travel trailers, for decades, and they're super reliable. So, I mean, the only thing, like I say, your roof is very important. You can get roof leaks, and then you can get body rot. So you really should be going up on your roof once a month, if possible, checking your caulking, re-caulking sections. The only time people have problems with body, leaks, roof leaks, is because they put it in storage, and it's in storage for a few years, and nobody's checked the roof. And that leak, after 12 months, two years, it's going to wreak havoc. Obviously. That's the only thing I can think of. I know you can always fix body rot. It's not critical. It's not your A-frame. It's not your components. You can get rid of body rot and cover it up with plywood and stuff like that. There's cheap ways than hiring some cosmetic specialist that wants to charge you $125 an hour to make it look like brand new again. But other than that, other than the roofs on travel trailers, they're very dependable. Mine's 16 years old. I have not replaced anything. I just had one problem with the converter, which is basically just the battery charger, and I paid $50 or $60 for just a regular car battery charger, and wired it in inside the trailer, and it works just as good as the converter did. Okay, I hope that opened up some eyes out there. People thinking about, do I want to tow a travel trailer, or do I want to live in a small cramped up van? I think if you spent a month in a van and you spent a month in the travel trailer, I don't care how small it is, even those tiny little R-pods and stuff, you're gonna be a lot happier in a travel trailer, believe me. Okay, this is Eagle Eric signing off.